Hey, welcome to the Two Bros Music Podcast, episode 14. Hey, welcome back. I'm Joe.
And I'm Adam. This is the Two Bros Music Podcast.
And we got a special treat for you today. Finally, after months of talking, we finally got the new track, the new single.
500 shows later, and we got you another song.
Yep. So I figured to a year that'll work.
Hey, that's productive.
I guess. Fuck. So, our world premiere, we should have done a little intro for it. But
the intro is the whole song. We got an intro. We worked on it. Yeah, that's our intro. We'll make that our intro.
Yeah. So, let's see.
So what, we're going to premiere it?
Yeah, you ready for it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it in all its
Here
glory.
we go. World premiere.
World premiere,
Two
Two Bros, Dark. There it is, the world premiere. See,
8 months later.
I told you this is a good outlet. See, because the first song we didn't have the podcast yet, so now we can torture people.
Now we can premiere it and talk about it. And the thing is, the first one, because you're right, we didn't have this, and then we kind of talked about it after the fact.
Yeah, we did it kind of in parts because we were setting up the podcast too, so we didn't have all that going. But so this one we can just get into it. What do you want to discuss first about it? Other than we finally got it done.
Let's talk about. I mean, you wrote the lyrics, so let's talk about what's the concept of the song. So I mean, that's what people are going to gravitate to first, anyways. If you're not a musician, it's always vocals, it's always singing.
Yeah.
So the theme.
Well, the theme I got was dark. That's what the name that popped into my head. And usually when I'm writing lyrics, I usually come up with one line that starts it for me. And then from there, for the most part, I write the lyrics, and then I go back and name it. Well, what's obvious about it, and then that'll be the title. So,
yeah.
But the one line that was in my head when I started writing the lyrics was that first line, "Nightmares whisper into your ear," and then that when I started thinking about that whole concept of these night creatures, these night terrors, trying to wake you up. And stuff. That's the title just hit me in the head. Dark.
Yeah.
You don't want to give too much away of it, but it leaves it like kind of sinister. Of what it's about. And it's basically we'll post the lyrics on our website and we'll throw them up on Instagram too. But it's basically about night terrors and sleep paralysis. That whole concept.
Yeah. Well, these are things that they've been going on and people all talk about all the time, like that night hag, where you feel like something's on your chest and you can't breathe, but you can't wake up.
Yeah.
You can't move and you get that paralysis. Or shadow people.
Yeah, shadow people.
People, there's a black figure and you can't make out anything but the shape. No features, no eyes, no mouth, or sometimes glowing eyes, but that's it.
Yeah. And so I use those concepts to build on the lyrics, about the lyrics. And so that's pretty much what the lyrics are about. But I mean, they're pretty when you read them, they're pretty self-explanatory. So if you get into the lyrics, have fun with that. I tried to put them again on this track because there's a thing where it says you can upload the lyrics when we upload the song for distribution, but for some reason it keeps rejecting. It did it on the first song and it did it again on this song. So we'll just have to put them onto the website.
Yeah. And that's not a big thing. There's places we can put it. The thing I liked is we go clean and then we get heavier. So it's got some dynamics to it,
Yeah.
I think it's different than the other song. You got that mellow vibe at first and then it gets like heavier, almost like the same theme, like what you're going with the dark. You feel that pressure getting heavier and the anxiety building. And that's kind of the structure. That's like how it was flowing, and then the lyrics came after. So, you get the vibe off the song, and then that's where you come up with stuff. But and it was kind of like the clean riffs were off of something you were doing on like the acoustic. I think you gave me.
Yeah,
and there were some chords in there that or arpeggios. It was something I've had for like 20 years, and I just never put it into a song. But when you gave me the notes off the acoustic, I'm like, well, those are the same 2 notes from my arpeggios. Yeah. Maybe I should just use those pieces. I've been playing them forever, and so they're in the clean part,
Yeah, that little clean. That's what's so simple. That's what I came up with on the like. I had like 2 chords, I think, and I gave them to you, and you're like, I kind of like that. And then you just like, I'm going to take it and build on it. I was like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, so I put piano in there, arpeggio, clean guitar, and then chorded clean guitar. But the pianos it's very mellow in the background. And if you listen closely, you can hear it. You hear it probably better with headphones.
Yeah.
So that, so it doesn't overtake it. It's all going to just kind of become one thing. You don't want really anything sticking out. The main thing to stick out is the vocals and the words, the lyrics.
Yeah.
So
no, you did a good job on the mix. I like it because after you told me you put the pianos in there and I went back and I listened because I couldn't hear them at first, or I was hearing them, but I didn't notice them. And it wasn't until after you told me, then I went to specifically listen for them. And then I kind of heard them. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. It gives it more ambiance to it.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you hear music nowadays, there's all these layers that, as a listener, you don't realize are there.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you put all that and it fills it up. It makes it bigger. It makes just everything. Because if you just went with just say some arpeggios on guitar and the vocals, you could do that. But it's just going to it'll sound smaller. Like if you go back and listen to 80s songs, I go back and sometimes on Fridays driving home, I'll put on an 80s playlist, right? And you listen to those songs now and then listen to where production is now. The songs are still good, but they sound empty. There's a lot of you don't have all that stuff in the background that we're so now used to when we hear a song.
Yeah.
And that's just modern day production. That's what you do. It started in the 80s and then it got more into the 90s and then into the 2000s. Of course, now it's just common practice.
Well, and especially with the digital now, you can put so many more tracks. I mean, because you figure back then, and even go back to the 60s, they only had 4 tracks, 8 tracks. They didn't have a 64 track. They had to just bounce them. In the
70s and 80s, you had those tape, because everything was reel to reel, on a tape.
Yeah,
there was all tape. Then they have those big 24 track tape, and they would just stack them. When you go to these studios, they could have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. So you got 24 times that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, all of that has to be put on tape. And then, in the old days, it was when you had to cut pieces together, you literally had to cut tape and splice it together.
Yeah.
So, well, now with digital, it's so much easier to not have to do that. But I think I mentioned it in an earlier podcast with, Judas Priest Metal Gods. Uh-huh. In the very end of that, they went in the kitchen and got, a bunch of utensils, just threw them on the floor and recorded that. And if you listen at the very end, you'll hear that, and that's all the spoons and forks and knives hitting the floor and just clanking,
Yeah.
Metallica, Year and a Half Live Metallica, you see them with a bunch of crap on the table and just, head filled with a gun and then tambourines and shakers and whatever can make noise. It adds to it.
Yeah.
So. We could get crazy with it, but you just put enough that it thickens it up,
Well, you could go to the extreme, where you never finish it because I'm still working on it. I'm adding shit.
That becomes a problem because then you just go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And even with mixing. So once we record everything, then you go to the mix and you could tweak on that crap forever. It gets hard because you could do that first mix and then you say, hey, put it out. I send it to you and you get your opinion. But then immediately, you start listening to it and you notice some things. And it's I think the vocals were a little low or this, or that. So, okay, you bring those things up, but then they all, because it's all, together.
Yeah.
So it all affects other things. When you bring something up, something else kind of drops.
Yeah.
Because, that's the whole thing. You're mixing it all to 2 tracks. You're taking, I think this one's around 50 tracks, maybe a little more. And you're taking all that down to 2 tracks, a left and a right. And you're just going to a stereo image. And that's a lot of the same frequencies meshed together. It's an art. It's hard to learn mixing, but you just do it. You keep doing it. And I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes years.
Yeah, and this song wasn't, I wouldn't say it's real complicated, but you figure 50 tracks about, so.
Yeah, roughly.
So, yeah, that's crazy. Remember our demo? We had that little 4-track.
Yeah.
When we did.
Well, one of the tricks on the 4 tracks, and it would get messy, is you do 3 tracks, then bounce them down to 1 track, and then so you could get more tracks. You could start stacking tracks, but problem is you got to live with whatever you got tracked at that point once you bounce them down, because you can't manipulate. Say, hey, your snare is getting washed out. It's like, hey, bring the snare up. Can't do that. It's in there with the other stuff now.
Yeah, you have to redo.
You have to go back. Yeah, and that's working with tape, and that's what we used to have to do. Yeah. But now digital, it's so much better. So guys like us could do this shit at home, where it used to be $1 million studios.
It just takes 6 months, but we do it.
Well, I think we would have gotten through it quicker, but
no, we both have jobs. I mean,
Well, yeah. One, we work. You got to pay our bills.
Yeah.
And this doesn't pay any bills. Nobody's paid for this stuff. The other thing is just I started another project. It just dropped in my lap, and I'm like, okay, because this was going to be the center focus, all that we were doing.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. We're trying to ramp it up.
Yeah. Now that we kind of got a process.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Once you get, because we're creatures of habit. So once we get set up, how basically we're going to do it. I mean, there's going to be some changes here and there, but now we kind of know, okay, get on this, get on that. I got to do this, I got to do that. And then boom, boom. Another 4 months, we'll have another one. So.
Yeah, and then we'll cut it down to 3.
Yeah. It'll get faster.
Well, the thing is, anything you do, you're going to get better and more efficient at.
Yeah.
So it's trying to find your way at first and the whole learning curve. But this is all building. We're building this podcast. We're building this, I guess, band with songs. So, yeah, and that's the whole journey, and that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
Just see where it goes, see where we can take it and how much better we can get. Because, I was just saying a minute ago, like the mixing, I'm still learning that. You never stop learning, as in anything, like, especially in music, like, you can always get better. It's always about trying to, improve yourself, be better than you were last time.
Well, and we did from the first time, because like this time I remember I added to you, I said, hey, put some effects on the drums. And then you added some effects, and I could hear them, like,
Yeah.
And I think it made it sound better. But it's all to make the song better. If it doesn't make the song better, then I look at it, why put it in? It's just extra shit. But
exactly.
But if it's going to add to the song.
You had a different perspective, because I was like, what? What do you want on the drums? I'm like, that's kind of out there. I'm like, well, I mean, there ain't no rules. So I started messing around with these different plugins. I think I put a phaser on there and a chorus. I used a couple different ones, and it was trippy sounding. Yeah. I know initially, though, because I tend to, when I first started mixing, I would be heavy-handed. I would turn it up too much.
Yeah.
Because you want to hear it. You want people to notice it. But it really shouldn't be there. Like, stuff like that's got to be kind of subtle, almost. And I know initially you were like, I can't hear it. You did something?
Yeah.
So I turned it up a little bit more. But I like that kind of stuff. Dude, if you put it in there subtly, it just makes it – it gave it a trippy sound.
Yeah.
What it's articulating. It's kind of cool. And it's something I would have never thought of. And then, we tried it, and it's cool. I like how it sounds.
Yeah.
It makes the, like, after you come out of the intro part with the toms, when you go to that beat, all, like, the cymbals, it makes them, like, shimmer.
Yeah.
It kind of, it's kind of trippy sounding. You got to really listen for it. But
see, I noticed that because when I sent you the original drums, it didn't sound like that. So I was like, but
no.
I ended up liking it. You hear it a few times, and it's like, because your ears got to get used to it. But I think it blended good.
Yeah, it's definitely not a normal thing you hear from the drums. But the same point, like when you mentioned, I'm like, well, yeah, why not add some effects to drums? There ain't no rules.
Yeah, well, a lot of bands do. Like, one off the top of my head is like Police, Stuart Copeland. Like Walking on the Moon, that's like delay. That's a heavy delay. when he's doing, but he's got other ones where you can hear where it's bright, like the chorus effect. I mean,
Yeah.
So I think a lot of bands do it, but yeah, it's not. They don't make a big deal of it. They just add that, like you said, to the mix.
Yeah, and you do it subtle, so that's why it goes by most people.
Yeah,
and they don't hear it. I mean, because people aren't really just sitting there analyzing every track in a mix. Some people do, but the average person isn't.
Yeah.
It's like example I was watching on YouTube, Tool. And it was like this rapper guy, and then he was like, people were telling me to check out Tool. So he's like, you watch and you get exposed to something new. And he's tripping off all the layers and all that stuff. And it just makes you think, it's all about these little things. And when you put the headphones on, that's when you really can pick all this stuff up.
Yeah.
So give it a listen with headphones if anybody's out there listening.
Yeah.
With our two listeners.
Oh, we're having a Black Friday sale, 69 cents for the track.
So, yeah. See, not even $1, just 69 cents.
So we took inflation out for you. How's that?
Yeah.
It's up on all the major music services, so it's real easy to find. And then we'll put, of course, links on the website and shit for that.
Yeah. So they click on it. Yeah, I've seen it on iTunes. Found it on Spotify. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's even up on YouTube too. So.
Oh, is it? They put it there, or you put it there?
Well, I think when it goes up to Google, I think Google puts it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Because I know back in the day, my old band Stagnant, when we put out our album, we did it with it was a company called CD Baby, and they put it on all the platforms back then. Yeah. And they put it on YouTube. The whole album's on YouTube. But yeah, if you're putting it up, it goes out to Google because now they have their music services and they own YouTube, right? So,
yeah. Well, and they just switched their music service. They changed the name to YouTube Music. So I think that's another reason why it's on regular YouTube.
Oh, okay.
But there's a hint there. You can go listen for free on there. But it's on Pandora. Yeah. It's on Amazon. It's on, like I said, any music service you can probably think of, it's on.
And most people probably have streaming services now. So
yeah. So if you got Apple Music, Google, which is YouTube Music now, it's on YouTube. Yeah. It's on Amazon, Spotify. Those are like the main ones, but it's on lesser ones too. I think it's on. It even said that they had put it up to like Facebook Music, like so. People making videos on Facebook, they can use clips of our song on there. I was like, yeah, that's cool. More people listening to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, like with whatever they're doing, they can put our song there?
Yeah. And then it's on TikTok, too. So I guess people making – I don't have a TikTok, but people making little videos on TikTok you can use like for background music.
Yeah. So all the chomos on TikTok.
Yeah, so that's kind of new, but yeah. And then if anybody ends up using it, email us. Or you got the email in the show notes and stuff. So we'd like to know what you did with it. Check it out.
Yeah, and we can promote it.
Yeah.
As long as you're not stealing the music to rap over, it's like, come on, man. It's one thing to make your video, but just to steal the music bed, no. But
do some air guitar, that's fine.
Yeah.
But so it's out now, so go check it out. Hopefully we can build to like five listeners.
Working on it.
Little by little.
Thanksgiving weekend. Hopefully people would be out listening to it, but we'll find out.
Well, I pissed off all our relatives yesterday, so.
Oh, yeah, you started shitstorm. Fucking kid.
Fucking kid strikes again.
I could hear our mom up there. Oh, that fucking kid.
Hey, but you agreed with me, though, in principle, right? So it's like, and people agree, I think. It's just they don't want to be the dick that says it.
No, I didn't really. Well, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't agree with what you did. Because it's not going to fix it. It's not going to fix it. it's already done. That's the point I was trying to make. Is like, I understand your frustration because that shit, like on 4th of July, like that's the best example. When you got to get up and go to work in the morning, and people are at like 10 o'clock going, Happy 4th of July. It's like, hey, fucking asshole, I don't have tomorrow off.
Yeah.
You know, I got to get up in the morning and go to work. And you're on these text chains and ding, 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 ding. And it's like, yeah, no, the problem with that is that text chain started years ago. It's there. There's no removing. You'd have to remove your number from every one of those phones. And that's not going to happen. Somebody's going to hit that text chain again.
Well, they're going to think twice now.
It's I don't think so. But hey, Rick's down with it. All you got to do, James, just to delete it.
Who's Rick?
Like,
who the fuck is Rick?
Yeah, I was like, who's this chomo?
He was a kid. I was going to call him a kiss ass because he was on there. Hey, James, I'll still be on it. I was like, fuck you.
I'm your friend.
Yeah.
That's why I just started up pushing buttons. I was like, oh, I'm going to get some popcorn and sit back and watch the sparks fly.
And if you notice, that's why in the end of the evening, I kept texting on that fucking.
No, I know. Now you were just trying to okay, I'm going to do the same shit they do.
Yeah, I'm going to start annoying them so that they know what I'm saying.
You. Yeah. But, that was inside baseball for anybody out there. There was a text chain yesterday from all the family, and Joe decided to be an a-hole and tell him not to put him in there.
Yeah, leave me out of that shit.
You're already in it.
But what I'm saying is we care. And it's like, you care, then just send me a personal text. You know, I do that.
Yeah, no, that's a pain in the ass, though. If you're going to do that to like 50 people,
well,
it's easier to just click on that chain and say, Happy Thanksgiving. Boom, done. I hit the family. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I like that.
I'm surprised you like that because, I don't know. Seems like you would be more pissed off.
You could turn the fucking phone off, or you could turn off the greeting. You could turn that thing off and block it so that it never goes off on you. That's what I was trying to say, and you were just seeing red.
No. I know, I did that, but when you open up your text, they're still all there, all the text messages. Like, I'm not just getting binged every fucking 10 seconds, but like when eventually 2 hours later I go to check my phone, all those texts that were going off are on there. And that, you
don't have to read them. Just delete the whole thing. Anyways, what does that have to do with metal? Joe's throwing a fit.
It's anger. Getting that anger out.
Hostility, anger towards the opposition.
I'm turning into Uncle Nacho.
Yeah. Grumpy old man.
Yep.
So, all right. We'll move on to news?
Yeah. And we'll put all the links in the website. So you check it out. Make sure you grab your copy. It's on sale now. But, yeah, we can hit some news. I got a couple of news items. So, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Music news.
All right. We got the first one I got is we talked about this in a couple podcasts back. The Quiet Riot mask that went to auction.
Yeah,
it sold for $50,000.
$50,000.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I would have wanted that, but what? I guess whatever.
Wow, $50,000 would have got you it. So, and along those lines, that Frankie Banali's one of his drum sets is for sale now.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And they had a link to go, so I wanted to check it. They want like $5,500. Fuck no. It's a Gretsch kid. I don't want that. So, but yeah, it's $5,500 because it's Frankie. And I guess you get the cases that have his name on and shit. So, but that's more Quiet Riot memorable.
It's like a steal. You should buy
it. Hey, Christmas coming up. You can buy it for me.
Oh, okay. I'll put that on the list.
Because you're a millionaire, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So those two kind of go together. But yeah.
So there you go. Any drummers out there or drummers' wives, There's a perfect Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Get that drum kit.
Frankie Banali. You'll be playing Bang Your Head in no time.
There you go.
Then the next one I got is Mustaine reveals that they're going to have a new Megadeth album next year in 2022. And it's going to be...
They put out like an album a year now.
I know.
Damn. Didn't they just come out with an album?
That gives us motivation. We put out 2 songs a year. That's good.
Yeah, they're putting out albums per year. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's their job. This ain't our job.
Yeah, that's true. They're sitting there doing this the whole
If it
time.
was our job and we're making money doing this, then we could be putting out songs.
Yeah. So the new album is going to be called The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. Or at least that's what they said the title is right now.
So they already got the title. Have they started recording on it?
It didn't say. I think it said, no, I think it did say, that they've been recording on it, but then they did this tour that they were on. So now that they're done with the tour, they're going to be back in, finishing up the recording. Going back.
Oh, okay.
I think right after the holidays, they're going to get back in there and work on it some more.
Yeah. Well, that's a downtime. Like right now, in the next, everybody starts to slow down anyway.
Yeah.
On tour. And plus, this is still with the COVID shit. I think by 2022, people are like planning major tours, and everybody's like, "We're done with this now. That's enough. That's enough. Let's play."
Yeah.
People want to get back to normal life.
And let's see what else. Most of the shit is like nowadays in the news when you read through it. It's mostly people who got COVID and had to cancel their tours, or this kind of shit where they're releasing like books or comics or whatever. Exodus is releasing a guitar book. It's a tab book for their new album, Persona Non Grata.
Yeah,
and it'll cover all 12 songs on the album. So if you want to learn how to play those songs, you could grab this tab book.
But well, that's kind of old now. Like back in the day when I was first learning, you go get the tab books and stuff. Yeah. Now you go online. You don't need it. Why go spend the money on a book? Like what?
Well, that's what I was saying about like these old bands like Scorpions. They put out a single and their album's not coming out till next year. It's 4 months from now. And it's like why? But
or start dropping. You're going to drop say 4 singles, or 3. Then start like 3 months ahead of the day you're going to drop the album.
Yeah,
and then go each month a new song, and then so you're kind of hyping it up.
Yeah,
but they'll drop one song and then you forget about it, and then the album comes out and you're like, you don't even know about it when the drop date comes. Yeah. It's like, I mean, hey, that's probably cool. Yeah, they're putting out a tab book, but I guarantee you online there's already tabs of it.
There'll probably be demonstrations like on YouTube of how to play.
Yeah, somebody's already probably playing this shit.
Yeah.
Here you go here, and you go to 3rd fret, and then you're going to be a drop tune in here. Oh,
So, I don't know. But, more power to them. They're going to have a tab book to go along with their...
Yeah, hey, they're not paying the money to print it, so good luck at making money with that, but yeah.
And then the last one I got is George Fisher, a.k.a. Corpse Grinder.
No, George Corpse Grinder.
Yeah.
Fisher.
He's got a debut album coming out. And it's produced by Jamie Josta from Hatebreed.
Oh, okay.
So I'll probably check that out. I want to hear what that's about.
Yeah, Jamie Josta brought back he just did that second album too, I think. What's his face from Twisted Sister? Dee Snider. Okay. He produced 2 metal albums with Dee Snider.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. I was wondering about that, if you've even heard any of that stuff.
No. You know what because we're doing Twisted Sister for the Turn It Up. And I was going to wait to see if it's going to be one of the questions. But
no.
If not, I was going to make note of it. But they're tied to UFO, which was.
Oh, okay.
And but I guess a lot of guys do that. I guess
the Tidy UFO. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't make that one of the questions.
Okay.
So if you mention that, but we can talk about that when we get to Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
But yeah, he produced, and then he had like guys from Killswitch Engage. I think he has I Lay Dying. He had a bunch of different artists help write the music and the stuff for D, and D would just sang it,
Yeah.
Just get him back into metal. But yeah, Jamie Joss is becoming quite the producer, I guess.
Huh.
So, and yeah, so is that the last one you have?
Yeah, that's the last one I got. So yeah, I guess because you don't really hear nothing about Hatebreed no more. So
no, he's got a podcast. Jamie Josta has a podcast. I've listened to it sometimes, but I haven't listened to it lately.
Uh-huh.
He'll have different artists on there. Howard from Killswitch singer, everybody from Jericho to I think he had Rob Flynn not too long ago on there. Yeah, so he gets his buddies on there, and it's basically he interviews them on this podcast.
Huh.
But I think too the COVID, so Hatebreed's not doing really anything right now because of all that shit. Everybody's affected by it, so
yeah. But yeah, so that's all I got. If you got something,
yeah, I see a few things up here that I'll mention. There's this sensational headline here: Mick Mars came close to being fired. I'm like, what? What's going on?
I seen that.
Yeah, but then when you get into the article, this is back years ago when they were like touring with Ozzy.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay. The way the article, and this stuff with news headlines nowadays, it's just always about that. What?
Yeah.
And then you start reading it, and it's like, oh, this shit ain't.
Yeah, it's just a hook to get you to read.
It's just a hook to get you to read the damn article.
What the fuck you gonna do?
Yeah. Fucking internet.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's not. They're not firing him. Let's see here. Oh, Celerna from Godsmack ripping on celebrities for opening their mouths about COVID and pandemics. Like, shut up and entertain. Yeah. Thank you. You know what? We all have our own opinions. Yeah, just keep them yourself. You're an entertainer. You're an athlete. Just do your job.
Yeah.
Keep your politics to yourself because everybody has their own opinion. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just why can't everybody, that it just causes more crap between people. Talk to your doctors, find out for yourself from physicians. Don't listen to any stupid ass on the TV telling you do this, do that. Yeah. Talk to a doctor. So, and everybody keep your opinions to yourself. I was like, I like that. So,
unless you're Joe on Thanksgiving.
Joe, keep your opinions to yourself. Oh, you don't want to talk to your Theo? Huh?
See, I didn't even know it was him, too, because most of those numbers that come up, and there's no face, like, they're not in my contacts, so I don't know who the fuck
The first one, you don't have James's number?
I have James's number, but I guess I don't have that number because it didn't come up. It just came up as a number. So I didn't know.
Yeah, because when he came up, he's the first one on there, and it says James, so I know he's the one that sent it. So that's why I figured you knew it was our uncle, and then you got him on. It's like, great. Now he's all butthurt. Look what you did. So yeah, everybody should just shut up with their opinions. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
Yeah, and they're usually smelly.
And they're always smelly. Give them time. So yeah, that's it. I saw that one. That kind of made me laugh. Celerna's like basically saying, "Shut the hell up!
Shut the fuck up!
Who gives a fuck? What do? You play some guy on TV? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
shut up! Shut up! Go talk to a doctor." So yeah, so I think it's kind of nothing really going on in the news.
Yeah, it was kind of slow. I think because of the holidays and shit. Plus, a lot of these guys are winding their tours down anyway because of the holidays.
Because of the holidays, so yeah, they get off the road and just stay home.
Although there was one that I didn't mention, but I kind of want to make note, is we had mentioned that Cloverdale has announced his retirement with his next tour.
Yeah.
So
he just hired a bass player.
Yeah, so he goes hires this new bass player. I'm like, so what the fuck? Are you going to pull this Aussie shit where you're going to, the final tour? Because that's what it seems like to me when I read that art. I was like, oh, fuck.
Well, that's like what Eddie Trunk's always saying. He's like, nobody ever retires. He's like, except, and for a while, he's like, okay, well, Motley Crue, they signed that contract. Yeah, they came out of fucking retirement. Nobody retires. You know when you retire? When you're in the ground.
Yeah.
Frankie Banali retired. You know, that's when you retire. You just shut your mouth. You know what? You're not touring right now, but you might be next year.
Nikki Sixx died twice, and he's still not retired.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, so yeah, I get it. You say you're gonna retire, but that's the thing. These guys, all their money is on the road. They don't make money off of records.
Yeah.
There's no money to be made there. It's like you got to get on the road to make money, or find another thing, start a YouTube channel, or
Yeah. Selling that crack.
Selling it, yeah. Hook it up. And then you can take the song from Twisted Sister, I Want to Rock, literally. Smoke a crack rock. I want a crack rock.
I want a crack rock. Oh, shit. All right, we ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do Turn It Up.
All right, getting ready for Turn It Up.
It's now time for Turn It Up.
I should mention that I got my son and my dog right here. They're over listening in, but I got my headphone set up thing, so I don't have external speakers. So my son, from time to time, he kind of looks at me weird, like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?"
Do it. Oh, so he's not hearing the bumpers.
Yeah. He's not hearing all the background shit. He's just hearing his dad being loud.
So before you go into, remember we're going to do the questions first.
Yeah,
right?
do the questions.
So yeah, this week we're doing Twisted Sister, and Joe picked them.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And we got a good story on that one, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've actually talked about this on another episode. If it's going to be what you're
Did we bring it up already? I didn't think we brought it up. I thought we talked about it.
We have. I think the second episode or third episode. But most people didn't even probably hear it.
Yeah.
So whatever.
We'll fucking kill it. We'll fucking drag that shit out.
All right. So the first question is, which member owns the rights to the name Twisted Sister?
That's French.
Yes.
JJ.
See, I asked my wife this, and she was like, "Oh, that's D." I'm like, "Nope." You would think so, but JJ French is older, and he was originally in the band.
Yeah, he was the original one, and his name wasn't even JJ. He changed it.
Yeah, he changed his name.
Yeah.
So, which most of these guys do.
I think it was Marvin or some shit like that.
D's name is Dan. I think he's Dan Snyder, but then he went with, they just call him D.
Yeah.
I
know D changed it, but it was like a little change. It wasn't a major.
Yeah, they just used his initial instead of.
But French is JJ. That's what he goes by now. But it was like, I forget now. I think it was like Marvin or some shit. It was like totally different.
It's right there in Wikipedia.
Yeah, Danny Schneider.
Danny Schneider, that's D.
Yeah.
All right, so question number 2.
Yeah.
Which major label's European branch signed Twisted Sister?
Oh, fuck. I remember this one, but now I'm drawing a blank.
Because they kept turning them down in America.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're not signing those fucking guys. And then the British guy was like, we're signing these guys. These guys are great.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was one of the things that they were bitching about, because they had, especially the East Coast right there in New York, the tri-state area, they were always selling out fucking wherever they played. And
selling out by like 5,000 seat venues and shit.
Yeah.
And unsigned.
Yeah, and the record companies just didn't want anything to do with them.
They didn't want nothing to do with them, dude. There was a money machine. They played a show, I think it was Long Island, 22,000 people showed up.
Yeah.
They didn't even have a record label that they were working under. It was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Just make the money off them and dump it. That's what record companies do. I don't know why they had it out for these guys. Nope, we're not signing them. So you don't have the answer?
No, I don't have that one.
That was it. Atlantic.
Because when I remember that one, because Otis Redding's on Atlantic. So that made me think of, they were on the same thing with Otis Redding. But
when Atlantic ain't even around now, but yeah, the guy that saw him that worked for Atlantic, he kept trying to pitch. I've seen this band pack the house, and they don't have a label, and they're like, "No, we are not signing that band." And then he finally threatened the head guy here in America for Atlantic, threatened him, said, "Look, if you mention that band again, you'll be fired."
It's almost like D did a fucking Rick James and pissed on his desk or something, you know?
Yeah, no shit. It's like
because
they didn't like that guy. I'm not fucking. We're not putting that guy with his fucking makeup on.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, it's just a gimmick. And then, so he talked to the British guy. He was like, "This is my one hope." He was visiting. He gave him, a cassette tape, a picture, and then a handwritten, 4-page note to the guy. And the guy was flying home, and he goes, I forget the name of the executive. Yeah. And he said, I read the note through. I'm like, oh, wow, this guy put in a lot about this band. And then I saw the picture, and I threw it in the refuge. It's just a brick. So I just threw it out. I didn't think nothing of it. Well, all their shit fell apart in Europe, but they still had a show that they were booked to do on a thing for the Tubes. And that's how they saw that guy saw him there.
Yeah.
Which, it was like a Hail Mary when they went and did that.
And Atlantic was the ones that originally signed Zeppelin, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were on Atlantic.
Before Zeppelin got real big, and then they started their own label.
Well, if Robert Plant was put on makeup, they wouldn't have signed him.
Well, he had those hip huggers, so he's close.
Just needed some more makeup. But then they would have thought he was a chick. I don't know. But so question number 3.
Yeah.
What song was featured in the movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure? There's a scene where they're filming a video for one of their songs in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I remember now, kind of, but I want to say I Want to Rock.
No, it's Burn in Hell.
Oh, yeah, I love that song. Because I play that. Yeah. I told you I took that guitar amp down to my warehouse, my shop, and that's what I play the radio through. But I got my iPod there, so every once in a while I'll get in the mood for some metal. And I play that fucking Burn in Hell. And the secretaries in the offices and shit, they always fucking get scared, and they're like, "Can you tell them to turn that down? Can you?" They get all freaked out with that song.
Yeah, it's like that's probably one of my favorite Twisted Sister songs.
Yeah,
but so there's 3.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So and I missed 2. Damn.
Yeah, you missed 2.
I think that's the worst I've done so far on these. But nobody's keeping score, so
no.
But yeah, the thing I was going to bring up is when they came out with their first EP, it was Pete Way from UFO.
That's the name.
He produced it, and and he got him hooked up with Motorhead to open up for Motorhead when they came out with that.
Well, that was all tied to this independent label in Europe.
Yeah.
And they got signed over there. And, he produced that. And then they went to open for Motorhead. And then Lemmy, because they were all dressed up in drag. And nobody at that time that was over, that scene. Yeah. And so Lemmy came out and introduced them, and then they accepted them. And then they were just legendary to put on a great show.
Yeah.
So that's what happened there. And then what was the other guy was I can't think of it. Another legendary producer wanted to produce them. He produced Zeppelin. He produced
Eddie Kramer. Eddie Kramer, yeah.
Eddie Kramer produced a song for them, and he was like, "I want to produce you guys," and they couldn't get signed off of that. These guys could not.
Yeah,
catch a break, man. They were going to get signed by another European label, and the guy, on the flight home, died. So that deal hit the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, these guys have been fucking just shit on so much.
And then, but after they made it big with the Stay Hungry, that's when that in the mid '80s, that's when those Washington Wives and the PMRC came out.
PMRC shit,
where they wanted to put labels on the albums and shit. And Dee was a major, well, and Twisted Sister, but Dee mainly was a spokesperson that came out against all that shit.
Yeah, he testified in front of Congress about it.
And then here's something you might not know is J.J. French, after they kind of broke up in the later days in the 90s, 80s, or early 2000s, before they had a reunion, he went on to start producing, and he produced Seven Dust's first album.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, I love that album.
Yeah,
Great
so
album.
when I seen that, I was like, wow, I didn't know that. So that was another good little fact there.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. 'Cause that's a great album.
Yeah.
Good band. Wow.
But listen to our song first, and then go.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get one of these producers to produce one of our songs.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So, do you want to touch on our story?
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember we talked about it, but I don't remember doing it on a podcast, but we might have. So it might be a rerun. Yeah, back when Stay Hungry came out, I was in the rock, and you were kind of getting into it a little bit.
No, I was into rock by that point. No, you see, I don't.
Well, see, then you tell the story then.
Yeah. I had money. Let's see. I think Stay Hungry came out in 1984, so I was like 10.
Yeah,
and Joe's 6 years older than me, so he was 16.
Yeah. So
I had enough money to buy 2 tapes, and I gave him money. He was going to go to the store and asked him to buy me 2 tapes. And one was Invasion of Your Privacy by Rat. The other one was Stay Hungry by Twisted Sister. And I remember you were like, oh, okay. You're like, you want me to buy that? Those guys? What? And you're talking shit. And you bought me the tape. We're listening to it, and you're like, oh, let me borrow this, and then I'll just dub it, and then I'll give you your tape back. And I was like, okay. I mean, yeah, you just make a copy and then give my tape back. Yeah, that did happen.
Well, you had never asked for it, so I figured, he don't want it.
Oh, no, I asked for it. You're like, yeah, I'll get it to you. He used to blow me off because it was always what's Joe's was Joe's and what's mine was Joe's. His older brother shit. Don't touch my shit. Yeah, it was that crap. But so years later, Joe's getting rid of all this. This is the 90s now. All his old cassette tapes. He's like, here, I don't need this shit. I got CDs. You want these? And I'm going through them like Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry. This is my tape. This is my tape, motherfucker. Now I'm like 20-something.
By that time I forgot that, because that's when you brought it up, and then I kind of remember. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But when I was giving it back to you, I was like, it wasn't like, oh, here's your tape back. It was just like, if you want any of these cassettes, you can have them.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of these. Here, do you want any? Well, one of them's mine from like 10 plus years ago. Fuck.
See, I took care of it. It was still good tape.
Yeah. What a dick. So yeah, that one always, because like I saved up my money. I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy 2 cassettes. These are the 2 I want.
And I think at the time I even told you, well, you're not going to listen to them both at the same time. Let me listen to one, and you can listen to the other one.
And I figured, okay, whatever.
I think that's how I pitched it to you. And you're like, all right.
Yeah, just make a copy and give it back. And then every time, hey, you got my tape? Oh, yeah, I'll give it to you. Oh, yeah. And then finally it just, fuck it. It was, yeah. Went to the roadside.
I think at one point Tanguma fucking borrowed it for a while.
Oh, I'm sure he did. All right. Hey, shit, lend it out. That's all right. Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that's their Twisted Sister thing.
Twisted Sister.
And the funny thing was, I remember you making fun of me for wanting that tape. You're like, those guys, you want them? They suck. What? But then we listened to the tape, and you're like, ooh, let me borrow this.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember, I was giving you shit for it.
You were. I was like, I was freaking 10 years old. So, I'm like watching these clowns on TV. I'm like, yeah, I like it. It's icky. But I know, I was 10 years old.
Oh, shit.
But I was also, 84. When did, Ride the Lightning that year? I got a copy of that. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. You know what? I'm over that tape. You're good. I don't care. Dude, I got Metallica now.
Yeah, because I think one of the reasons I was giving you shit is because by that time I was already into Metallica, and Megadeth. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, these guys, what's with the makeup again? And it's like they had good music. The songs were good. It's just their appearance. It was like, why are you doing? Yeah, but that's
because and then at that point too, I think Motley Crue still wore the makeup, because even if within the next few years Motley Crue started backing that shit down, it was kind of just like old hat. Like that shtick was like shit from the 70s.
Yeah.
Like
David Bowie and
all that
and all that shit.
And then out in California, there was bands called London, and they were doing that shit, and that's where Motley Crue started doing it. But then it was kind of just like they got over it. And then the weirdest thing, like all of a sudden, like Hollywood, all those bands just became putting all this makeup shit on. Yeah. And it's like, what? That shit was way over. Nobody was doing that anymore. But it came back.
Yeah, because, remember Kiss was the big one in the 70s.
Kiss, yeah.
But even in the 80s, then they took the makeup off. And then that's when
they took the makeup off. There was no more makeup. Like the makeup shit was going up to the roadside. It was over. But like Twisted Sister wasn't giving that up.
Yeah.
That was their thing. So, it turned off a lot of people. But if you're a kid, you're like, I just like the music. I don't care. Because I remember too.
And their videos were funny.
The video's funny because they had the dude from Animal House.
Yeah.
And they're just basically running that thing. And then, because I remember too, like I didn't care what they looked like. If I liked the music, I liked the music. Like, the first time I got that Motley Crue Shout Out the Devil tape. And I remember your buddy Mike going, did you ever see what those guys look like? I'm like, no. He's like, those dudes are freaks. And I'm like, I don't care. I like this tape. Yeah. So.
Well, you like Culture Club too, so.
Yeah, I was a little kid.
You had the album with your little that little record player, the little portable one. I remember.
I had a Snoopy record player. It was all white.
Yeah,
and that was one of the first. That album, Mom bought me that album for Christmas, and then Metal Health.
Yeah,
for Quiet Riot.
What a 1-2 combo of that.
Yeah, Culture Club to Quiet Riot. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but anybody has siblings knows that shit. That's how things go.
Motherfuck.
Yeah, exactly, Tony.
Yeah.
Hey, let me borrow that. Ugh. And then that's why too and I think we were talking about because the Van Halen tape. Mom bought me the 1984. And then, same shit. Here you go again. Hey, let me borrow that. Fucking Mom was like, did you get your tape back? Get your fucking tape back for that fucking kid. Get your tape back.
See, I never heard none of this. So she used to have wild conversations about me without me knowing about this shit.
Oh, I tell you everything. Yeah, that's how you know. Oh, fucking kid. What he fucking break out? No, and it's great because she would never say anything to you.
Yeah,
she would bitch about it, and then not say anything to you, and not confront you about it. So you got away with fucking murder. You could just do it, and whatever. And then she wasn't gonna say shit to you.
Yeah, but you also blame me for shit that I didn't do.
Hell yeah! Fuck, you took my tape. That goes to the territory.
Payback's a bitch.
That's the shit we do as siblings. All right, motherfucker, you took my tape. Fuck it, I take it. I fucked up here, but if they think it's you, I'm just gonna let them think it's you. I'll just say it's shit. What was that? I ain't incriminating myself. I have the right to remain silent, and I did. Please. Yeah, like on that one, they had these little porcelain statues above the fireplace, and they were our stepfathers, and he got them from his mom. Well, I was like 10 or 11, and me and my friends were having pillow fights in the front room, and the pillow sack ripped. and it went flying onto the mantle and cracked the two things. And Mom and Pop were asleep because they were graveyard. So my buddy's like, I got super glue at my house. I'm like, okay. So we went over to his house, got super glue, and glued them.
You did the Brady Bunch shit.
Totally did that shit. And then, like, if you went and looked up at them closely, you could see the hairline cracks and shit. You thought he was a friend. But if you're just on the couch, you don't see it. Well, that was, like I said, I was like 10 or 11. And then I think I was a senior year of high school, or I might have already just graduated high school. They started remodeling the front room. They were tearing out the carpet, and so one day he's taking all the stuff off the mantle and dusting it off, and they're getting ready to remove everything from the living room to remodel it. And I'm sitting there watching TV with Mom, and I'm like, here it comes. You know what? I was going to have to pay for this one day. And, this is like 8 years later or so. I'm like, okay, all right. And then so Pop, he gets it and starts looking at it slowly. I'm like, oh, shit. He sees it. He goes, hey, honey, my porcelain fingers are cracked. Somebody, what? And then Mom goes, oh, fucking Joey, that fucking kid. I bet you're a fucking kid. What? Let me see. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, get out of jail free card. So she's like, did you know anything about it? I was like, nah, what? What are you guys talking about? I don't know.
That fucking kid did it.
So, yeah, you're welcome for the tape. You took a hit on that one for me.
See, and that was another thing. I never knew about it because they never told me anything about it.
Yeah, no, and that's how it went. I knew you were never going to hear about it. Like, it'd be a dick move if you were going to get in trouble for it. Yeah. But you were living in Fresno at that point. You were like in your 20s. Mom was never going to say shit, So it's like, well, whatever. Let Joe take the hit for it. Fuck it.
He owes me, that fucker.
Yeah. That's for that Twisted Sister tape, you dick. Yeah, fuck.
Good times.
The good times.
So,
well,
we had a pretty good episode, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one. Please go out there and check out the song. And if you can, spend 69 cents.
Yeah, it's Black Friday sale. But,
Black Friday sale, yes. Actually, what we're going to do is extend that sale to permanent.
Yeah, we're going to leave it up. Because in these times, we know it's hard.
Yeah.
So
you can gather 69 cents.
We believe in you, America. We're having the fucking kid sale.
Fucking kid sale. What did he? Oh shit! What did he do now?
Fucking kid.
Fucking kid.
So yeah, that was my nickname, and I didn't even fucking knew it at the time.
Yeah, because there was always the when you heard Joe, when you would like, I'd hear you say it, Mom would hear you. It's like you were using the dryer thing or washer one time, and then it broke, and you hear Joe go, "Oh, fuck!" And when you heard that from Joe, it just broke on him. It's like when things would break, it would usually be on you for whatever reason.
Yeah,
and it's like, and then it would be like, "Oh, fucking kid, you broke something else."
Except the shower, I didn't break the shower.
No, that was me, and everybody knows that was me.
We'll save that one for another time.
Oh yeah, the near-death story.
Yeah,
ran through the house like Freddy Krueger, where he's dragging the body and shit. Yeah, blood everywhere.
The mafia hit.
Naked woman on the porch when the ambulance pulled up. Yeah, that was I guess that's a story for another time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We could do a near-death experience story.
Maybe we'll write a song about it. And then, well, you already did.
I did. It's called My Demise. Yeah. So. But actually, I could get some clips from. We did a radio interview on the Bone out here in the Bay Area, and we went in there and they played that song, and then I talked about it. So maybe I'll get you some clips and we can put it in.
Yeah, we can do an episode with that. Because that's a good story.
Yeah, it's a near-death experience.
That's like a whole episode story there.
Oh, yeah. The retard part of it and all of it.
Yeah.
Don't take the ambulance, man. It costs you too much money. I'll drive you. It's cool, man. They got me bandaged up and on a gurney there. Then we pull up to the hospital. There's Todd as they open the door. I told you, dude. I'll beat him. I'm already here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, maybe we'll tell that one in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'll get you some cuts.
And then one other thing is we're going to still do a video for this song, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do a video. And then we'll announce that. We got a video. Check it out.
Yeah. So that'll tide you over till next year, kiddies.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, go to the website, the number 2brosmusic.com, or check us out on Instagram, 2bros spelled out, 2bros music. And all the links will be up on the website. So it should be easy to find, or just search your music service for the song Dark, 2Bros Dark. And until next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Later.